Hey guys, welcome to Rock Talks. Today we're talking to Cristian Machado, a Ru Luster, and Diego Verduzco from the new band Lions at the Gate. We will know everything about this new band with former El Niño members. We'll discuss the creation of the band, the addition of the new members, and the writing process of the new single Not Even Human. If you like this interview, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and share the video with all your friends. Also, very important, please subscribe and hit the bell. More interviews in the way. Hello, Christian, Aru, and Diego. How are you guys tonight? Welcome to Rock Talks.
Good. How's it going?
Thanks for having us.
Great, man.
What's up, Pierre? Good to see you again.
Yeah. Good to see you, Christian, Diego. This is actually the very first time me talking to Diego.
Yeah.
This is a new thing already. So guys,
other than like in your nightmares or something like that.
Yeah, sure. So let's talk about this new band that you guys put together, Lions at the Gate. So my first question is really simple. Why is that the band called Lions at the Gate? Why did you choose that name?
It was almost by
Listen, I didn't want to get stuck on a name, so these guys could answer that one.
It was by accident. We had like 90 names written down, and we were going through everything and trying to find if what made sense and if something was already being used. And we had so many other names that we thought were great, and then we find out there was 10 people using the same name. And then I actually remembered a story from this city in Holland where we would tour called Sittard. And there was a cathedral there, and they had like a coat of arms on the cathedral. And on days off we like to go explore, and I went to go look at it, and I found out the story behind the coat of arms, which had a lion on it, was that a few hundred years ago, a circus lion escaped the cages and ran into the city, and it walked into the cathedral during a mass.
Oh.
And it walked straight down the aisle, and it laid down at the altar. And then I was like, oh, a lion at the altar, that's cool. And then I was thinking about it, and I went to text Aru. I'm like, hey, what do you think about this name? And I wrote Lions at the Gate instead, completely by mistake. And then he's like, oh, I love it. And then I said, oh, wait, no, that's not it. Lion at the altar. He's like, no, I like the other one more. So it almost happened by accident. And we passed it along to everybody, and everybody's like, wow, it's great. We love it. That's it. Very simple.
To me, there was not like, and it's true, we had at least 100 names, I think, written down between all of us. We each wrote between 25 to 50 names, and we wound up realizing in the checking of all of them that almost everything that you think of is somehow used or taken in some kind of way, unless if you get into like names that are not something like corn with a K, and stuff like that, or other weird concoctions of names. But I think we all just wanted a name that felt good saying it, not anything too complicated, and something that could be memorable.
Yeah. To me, it sounds like. Oh yeah, go ahead, Aru.
Yeah, and then after we came up with a name, it's like we liked the name and we decided to stick with it. But then after that, just the thought of the lion itself as the animal, and a lion is strong, and a lion is also honorable. And I think the way that we're doing this band is like we want to do everything the right way and with honor.
Yeah, to me it sounds like you guys are the lions, like really ferocious, ready to take over. You're about to escape the gates to take over the world of metal. So that's the idea I get from the name.
That's
Yeah.
It's a
exactly
good story. We kind of did escape the gates.
So it makes sense. Thank God. All right. So let's talk about the musical direction of this new band. We already listened to the single, Not Even Human. I love it for real. I love the fact that it still sounds like you guys, like you can recognize Christian's voice like right away, like that. And you can also identify Arul's and Diego's guitar playing, right? The style. So it sounds like you guys, but at the same time, it sounds like a new chapter. I, I don't want to say it still sounds like Il Nino, but it sounds like Il Nino what would become if you did have some more freedom to try to experiment new sounds. Do you agree?
I think so. I think you're right in you know, presuming that, definitely. I think that in this band we just felt like a huge weight was lifted off our shoulders in not having to fall under any category if we didn't want to, or fall under any tag if we didn't want to. It really was just, you know, I think when these guys started writing the music, I think they just really wanted to write great songs. Is really the one thing that we all shared. It's just, let's just write something good, cool, something that we think is cool, something that we like as heavy music, but just something that is memorable. But they, you know, it was these guys that started really putting the music together. By the time it got to me, it already had like a great, it had like a great vibe and feeling, you know. It wasn't a lot of work for me to already start getting inspired by what they had sent me.
Awesome. Yeah, I think, I mean, one of the things was being in our last band, we were tied to a specific sound. So it's like you kind of had lines that you had to color within. Like, okay, we have to do this and we have to do this. We have to have this kind of bridge in one song, and, you know, and it was almost a rule book that we had to stick to. Yeah. But this was completely refreshing because we broke all those rules. We didn't have to do any of that. We didn't have to stick to anything that we did in the last band. And we could have things that were wide open. We could have blast beats if we wanted, and all kinds of, you know, cool things.
Yeah, and just like Aru said and Chris said, you know, the freedom to do, you know, what we wanted, what felt good. You know, I've always wanted to be in a project where the music felt honest and organic. And, you know, being the presumption of being stuck into a box, you have to do this. It's the same as, you know, telling an artist he can only paint with these colors. You know, now we have all these tools that we can use, and we are fans of so many different types of music. And the one thing that we have in common is a passion for music, and definitely for people who we've grown to know and to love, and you know, the world. We know that music's a universal language, so we shouldn't be, you know, tied to one particular sound. So you know, actually, you know, when this started, it was actually Stephen Brewer, our bassist, actually would come to my house. And at first it started as just like little jams and stuff like that. And we're like, hey, let's write some songs. And then it turned into, hey, let's send these to Christian and Aru. Let's see what's going on, you know? And then, yeah, the rest just kind of like flowed. That's why I love the word organic, because it just started, you know, becoming its own thing, you know? So that's what my explanation of it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember in the previous interview I had with Aru, I asked him if this new band would have a percussionist, and he said no. And maybe that's the reason you don't want to stick to the Latin metal style, and you want to develop new sounds, new styles of metal. Also, did you take out all the flamenco guitar parts on this new album that's coming out?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the album.
On the new album, there's no flamenco guitar. at all. It's just, I mean, there's some clean guitar parts, but we wanted to have our own sound. I mean, we were already part of something that had a sound, so we didn't want to copy that. We just wanted to do our own thing.
Yeah, sounds promising. So, Christian, you were saying?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much what Aru said. You know, the music industry and music and just being creative in general is very unforgiving, especially if you're very critical to yourself. So for us, we realized that, you know, this was an opportunity to really do something refreshing, do something completely fresh and different. And that in itself, to at least musicians that are always looking for something that's interesting and really trying to search for something that feels fulfilling. The idea is to try to do something refreshing, not get stuck in a box. You know, that's the worst thing that you could feel as a musician is you're stuck in this box. And like Aru said, you have to do things like this and you have to do things like that. And I think that we were so perhaps creatively traumatized by that when we got out of it, we were like, we want to do everything opposite of that.
Yeah.
You know, but obviously we are who we are. We have our own musical identities. So
Exactly.
Those things are going to be part of the sound naturally. There's nothing we could do about it. That's why we wanted to make a bold statement with everything else as much as we can.
Diego?
Yeah, you know, just adding to that, you know, like I said before, we're all fans of so many different types of music that, you know, we want to incorporate what feels good. You know, like Chris said, you know, if we want a blast beat, we put a blast beat in. If we want clean guitars, there's clean guitars. The one thing I'd say about this music is it's extremely dynamic. You know, the whole album is just very, very dynamic, and there's a lot of emotion put into it, a lot of love put into this album. And it came from just, you know, being able to be together in a circumstance where there was not a ton of pressure except for that which we impose on ourselves. And that pressure was just to get this work done and to write the absolute best music that we possibly could.
Did you get any new influences for this new band?
I mean, I would imagine that, you know, Kyle, Odell, and Zach Williams, the producers that we worked with, they definitely kind of molded our influences into this, you know, mesh of ideas kind of. And I think that we didn't look, it didn't feel like in the past where we would sometimes be in the studio and somebody would come in and say, you know, listen to this band, we should, you know, try to do this like this band. It wasn't, it was just like, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
What it was really about, who are we, what are we doing? And, you know, Kyle managed to really focus our intent and our ideas in really cool ways. You know, he brought out the best of us without a doubt. I'd say, other than a band, he was a great influence on us just as musicians in pushing us in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. All right. And tell me, how and when did the band started? I know that you actually started like a year ago, but when did the ideas, the first songs came together?
That's a Diego answer right there.
Yeah, Diego could answer that one.
You know, I would say it was the end of January of 2020. Steven and I actually flew out to meet with Kyle. We worked with him for just a weekend, and then we gave Chris and Aru 3 ideas that were not finished. They were polished, they sounded good. I really wanted to bring a freshness to the table. You know, I was very adamant that we work with somebody that, you know, understood us. And from immediately meeting Kyle, I just knew it was like, he was the guy to bring out the best in every single person here. And so, you know, to the influences thing, yeah, Kyle definitely influenced us and pushed us to bring the best out of each other. So I sent the ideas to Christian and to Aru, 2 of which ended up on this album. So yeah, long story short, January 2020, and then it really got serious, moving into the next couple months. We actually started recording, I believe, in July. Am I right, guys?
Yeah, I think the first session was July.
Yeah, we did it in 2 sessions. We did it the first one in July.
I think the second one was in September or something like that.
Yeah.
July 2020.
Yeah.
But it was the recording process was seamless. I mean, we had a blast, and we didn't compromise anything, we didn't rush anything, and we didn't have to drag anything out. It literally was 20 days, 2 10-day sessions, and the entire record was done. But it couldn't have been done without a doubt unless everybody was focused, including Kyle, who was pretty much making sure we were getting the album done.
Yeah.
So how did you find your new members, Fernando Lemus and Steven, wait a second, Brewer, right?
Yeah.
How
did you find those guys, or where?
Well, Steven was there in the beginning with Diego.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Diego could tell the story, because I know Steven knew Christian and Diego before I met Steven. As far as I'll just say about Fernando, like we had another drummer in mind, and at the last minute that didn't pan out. So one night I just had insomnia and I couldn't sleep, and I was just going through YouTube looking at drummers, and I came across Fernando, and he was playing Slipknot covers, and he was playing Bring Me the Horizon covers, and then there was like a death metal band. I can't remember what it was, but it was like the super extremely technical song. And I saw he could do everything from like really, really groovy rock beats to blast beats and like super technical stuff with his feet. And I was like, wow, man. I mean, we're making this album that has like all these different, everything from blast beats to ballads, and this guy could do all of that. And not only that, is like he's a showman. Like he puts on a show when he plays. And I just kind of dug around a little bit more, and I saw a podcast that he was on, and just the way that he spoke, and he was very grateful to everybody that helped him along the way in his career. And I was like, wow, he's actually a really nice, awesome dude too. So then the next morning I just reached out to him, and he was into the idea. So I found him on YouTube, basically.
That's the way to do things in the music business nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually sent Fern probably one of the more technical songs, one of the more dynamic songs, and he sent us a video playthrough, and he just completely nailed it. And the four of us got on the phone, and we're like, we gotta get him, and that was that. Yeah. It was a very, very simple selection at that point. As far as Steven, we actually Christian and I actually were at a Cradle of Filth show, and we met Steven at that show, and it was funny. Steven's this tall guy, taller, might be even taller than Christian. Christian's 6'2".
Yes.
Yeah.
He's the tallest guy in the band.
Yeah, tallest guy in the band. Probably the skinniest guy in the band too. And he was just like, he's from North Carolina, so we kind of crack on him a little bit because he's got a little bit of a Carolina twang. He's like, well, hi guys, my name's Steven. You guys are from El Nino, right? Very proper. He's probably the most polite guy I've ever met. And it's funny that we met him at a Cradle of Filth show, and instantly started chit-chatting. We saw him again at the what show was it, Chris? We saw him again at another show, and the Ghost Inside. It was the Ghost Inside comeback show at the Shrine in LA, and he was there again, and so we just started really talking, exchange phone numbers, chit chat, and I was like, hey man, come. Steven's actually like a guitar shredder, like, hey, come show me some shred stuff. Like, I'm not a shredder at all. And I was like, hey, come over and show me some shredded stuff. And he was just like, oh, this is cool. Yeah, let's start a band.
So you actually met Stephen like a few years ago.
A couple years ago,
Yeah,
yeah.
2019.
Oh, all right, all right. So Aru, you mentioned another mysterious drummer. Can we say his name, or this has to remain as a mystery?
Probably not. I would say let's just we don't have to even go there.
Yeah.
All right.
It just didn't work out. It was it wasn't like, you know, it was early on in the band and things were being scheduled very quickly. Things, you know, the schedule ball began rolling very rapidly, and just he had things that were getting in the way, and it wasn't a big deal really. It was just it was stressful for a moment because we knew we were getting close to, you know, beginning to record the album. We weren't sure if he was going to be the drummer or not. But we're incredibly blessed to have Fernando in the band, dude. I mean,
yeah, he's really good. Yeah,
really, really amazing drummer, and really down to earth, and really nice guy. And you know, knowing that we're putting ourselves in a situation where we're probably going to have to travel a lot together, you know, we want somebody that's like us, just chill, that can just, you know, laugh at a good joke, but not you know, not be a bully kind of person or take advantage of people and things like that. And he's just a super chill dude, but such an incredible drummer. We just, I don't know, we got lucky. Aru, you must have done some magic that night.
Yeah, I just went down the wormhole, man, and just looked at drummer video after drummer video, and then I just kind of stumbled on him.
Yeah, he's also another just super polite guy. Just like super down, super, like everyone's saying, super chill.
So Diego, since you guys mentioned that the album has some blast beats and it's a really dynamic album, so can we expect more fast, more heavier and technical songs on this new album that's coming out?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think a majority of the people have a premonition of what to expect, and I'm gonna tell everybody to not have any, you know, preconceived notions. You know, sit back and enjoy it. Yeah, we're gonna have some blast beats, but we're gonna have some slow parts too. You know, I can't use the word dynamic enough.
Yeah, for sure. The heaviest song on the album has one of the most somber parts of the album, but it also has a really amazing feature from a female artist who is amazing. We don't want to give away the name yet, but you know, it's a very well-known female artist. And there's another song that's also heavier than Not Even Human. I'm talking songs that are heavier than Not Even Human. And a couple of other songs that also have similar, you know, angst or, you know, energy, I guess, behind the song. But like Diego said, there's also songs that are really, really hooky and come from a very honest place in the heart, and also come from a different type of feeling, not just anger.
Yeah, I think Not Even Human, it's really catchy, especially because of the riffs and your vocal line on the chorus. Really, really catchy. And it's doing great on the charts, right? Number 3 on iTunes Metal. Also charted internationally. Can you talk a little bit about that? Which countries?
Yeah, Germany, New Zealand, the UK, the US, Australia, a lot of different countries that charted on iTunes. In the US, it got up to number 3, which we were very blessed and just surprised. We really weren't expecting it. We really only had, I don't know, 3 or 4 days of, you know, visibility, or of letting people know that this was coming.
Yeah.
But you know, we were also very blessed in having a really, really good PR team, Charlie at Cosa Nostra, who kind of guided us and let us know, you know, this is not something you want to just talk about constantly and then release something. You have to, like, say, if you're going to say something with a song, you have to come out and say it and not hold on to it too long. So I think that there was a good lead up to it, where we didn't hold on to it too long. Like, hey, we're doing this, you know. You know, there's a good lyric on the album that says, never show your teeth before you strike. And that's kind of the way that I think we went about making this album. We just didn't want to talk about it too much. We wanted to basically focus on the music as much as possible. But I'm sure these guys have something to say about the same question.
Ru, let's hear.
Yes. You know what? I was kind of daydreaming a little bit. What was the question?
Christian told him. Christian, tell him. Oh, he was talking about Not Even Human, the song that charted really well all over the world.
I mean, we were blown away by the response. Like there was we basically released the song just to kind of draw a little bit of attention and stir the pot a little bit. But the response we got was like way beyond our greatest expectations. And we weren't even expecting to get into the charts like we did. And just the way that it was received was like, we were blown away, literally, and we couldn't believe it. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, also some fans started a fan group on Facebook like right away, right? Like an hour after the video was out, I think.
Yeah, I think so, and I think there's around 5 now. I think there's about 5 fan pages already.
Oh, that's great.
It's just something that we're extremely blessed to have. You know, how does a band with one song, have 5 fan groups start up? You know, we're blessed to have the fan base that we already did have, and they stuck around waiting. You know, and we came through, thankfully. You know, because like Aru and Chris said, like we had no idea. You know, the night it was released, you know, I'm like Aru, I don't sleep much. I'll fall asleep at 2, 3 in the morning. And, you know, I'm sitting there watching TV and I get an email saying, you know, congratulations, your song is charted. And I was like, oh my God. And at the time, you know, it was like very high up in the top 200. And I was like, well, that's so cool, you know. And, you know, I went to sleep and I woke up. I'm like, well, let's see what happens. And then I wake up and, you know, the phone starts blowing up immediately. And, you know, it's like, hey, dude, you're at number 27. And I'm like, what? You know, I'm jumping on iTunes to check it. And sure enough, the ticking started. And, you know, there were so many, you know, great classic acts and modern acts on the chart that I was just like, oh, man, we're stuck here at this number. We're never going to pass that. And then slowly it started going up and up and up, and you know, people from like all around the world were just messaging us, and you guys are right here, and we have a group chat that we're just like, are you guys watching this? You know, and then finally we got to like number 8, and I was like, that's it, we can't go any higher. And I was
you gotta believe, Diego. You gotta believe.
Yeah, you gotta believe, you know. And you know, I go off and I'm running errands, and then a friend of ours, Sean, he's a big part of Lions here behind the scenes. You know, we call him the 6th member because he's helping us with a lot of our graphics and videos and stuff. And he calls me, and he's like, Diego, we're at number 4. And I'm like, what? You're shitting me. I'm like, don't lie to me. And sure enough, I'm like, you know, I'm at a Walmart, you know, in Santa Clarita buying, you know, some trash bags and you know, shit like that. And I'm like looking around because I started getting like little watery eyed, and I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. You know, I get to my shop within the next 10 minutes and we were at number 3, and I was like freaking out. And then
the people at Walmart were wondering why there was a guy holding 10 bottles of hot sauce in the aisle but crying.
Yeah. And then we just held it, and I couldn't believe, like, we held it through the night, and then through the weekend, you know, started going down, but we stayed top 10. And even up until today, we were still top 50. And I was just like, Jesus, how does this happen? So we were just caught by surprise, and just so blessed and thankful to everybody who's been a part of this, who's been patient, waiting for us, you know, to my bandmates, you know, just everyone, you know, we're so thankful to everybody.
Is there a release date for the new album?
No, we don't have a release date yet. I'm sure we're at some point we're going to decide on a team to work with, including a label and a management. And I'm sure that they're going to want to have a part in the decision of when we release the record and how we release the record.
So you're still shopping some labels to try to sell the product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We technically haven't really pitched it to a lot of labels.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't really gone to a lot of people with it. We've gone to some friends in the industry, like some friends at radio, and some people, other musicians that we could trust to gauge whether we were like crazy, or is it really this good? Are we right? Is it really this cool? Or are we just like nuts? We like our own stuff way too much. And then we started getting feedback from people that you know, that pretty much everybody was, the album is phenomenal. You guys have several single potentials. It's the heaviest stuff you've ever done. It's got a new sound, a different sound. I mean, the feedback was so amazing that, you know, we decided, are we going to go into this, you know, trying to pitch it to everybody and their friends now, or should we at least start branding the band and put out a song and let people begin to talk about it? And I think that's kind of how we got to the decision of, let's put out one song, gauge, you know, how much everybody likes it, and then we'll take it from there. But we are lucky to still, even though we don't have a label, we have a great PR team, and there are some people helping internationally, and, you know.
So it will be out this year.
Blessed.
It will be out this year, you think?
We're hoping so, yeah. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't be.
We're being selective.
All right. So what's the name of the album?
We don't have
a name.
Come on, give me something, man.
We don't have a name, man. I mean, you know, I think that the album will be out within a year or so. If not within 4 or 5 months, I think that things are going to start rolling a lot faster than we even predicted they could have. They already have started rolling a lot faster than we predicted they could have. So I think we're lucky to be in this situation, that is for sure, because we could have, you know, signed to a label on the premonition that maybe people would digest it well. But, you know, now we're realizing that people are digesting it well, and that it's going to have a great reception. If people really like this song, they're going to be blown away by the album. And, you know, those that have heard the album know that there's a great deal of amazing music on it, you know. So we're excited. We're excited that people dig this one song this much, and we know that the rest of the album is phenomenal.
Yeah, we're like, wait till you hear the rest of it.
Can't wait, yeah, for sure. So guys, we only have 2 more minutes for this show. So only 2 minutes for these next questions. Are there any touring plans already? And are you gonna play some El Niño songs on the upcoming tours, or nada?